As we sit here tonight, we call upon the sacred light of Source, the divine feminine and the divine masculine. We call upon our spirit guides, angels, ascended masters, light beings, and galactic guides. We call in our ancestors, nature spirits, and animal guides. We invite in Archangel Michael, Naisinga, and Hanuman, as well as the energy of Phi and the spider, to weave a web of sacred geometry around our space for protection. We call upon Ganesh to open the path, and we call upon Thoth, the keeper of the Akashic records and time, to open the gates to our wisdom and knowledge. Spirit guides, as we sit here tonight, we call upon the light and power of the 1111 portal. We ask to be connected to our angelic guides, ascended masters, and higher dimensional realms. We ask to connect with this energy of the portal and allow us to walk through the interdimensional doorway, allowing us to download insights, create strong intentions and manifestation during this time. We ask that this doorway allow us to manifest anything we desire personally and also for the collective. Any messages of what we can do as a collective to manifest what we need to manifest here on earth, please do so. And any other energies and messages you would like us to know in this moment. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And with that, the sacred circle is now open. Namaste.
As you were opening, Jacqueline, I was hearing, I guess it's a Cretan Clearwater song. I don't even know. It's like rolling, rolling on the river, and I was hearing that like refrain over and over. And I can see this really turbulent, wide river, and the waters are really white. There's large chunks of ice that had broken up, almost like um smaller parts of what looked like it was the river might have been frozen at one point. And I can just see them. I can hear over and underneath the music, like the rapids. And I see one woman on a larger chunk of ice that keeps breaking into little pieces. And she's kind of like, she has to like do some fancy footwork to keep her to keep her footing, but she kind of like looks like someone would when they're surfing, but she's like just keeping her footing on the ice chunks that are breaking up. And she's wearing all white. So she has on like long flowing white. Looks like it's kind of a gown, but it's been like picked up to see, you can see pants under it and bits of fur, and there's something almost like very modern about her, but also very ancient about her at the same time. And she just has some really powerful, fierce energy. And it's like everything in this scene is white, like the river, the snow, the ice, her outfit. Even her hair is like white. And I just kind of get the sense that even though she's navigating this like river that's, basically the ice is melting and the rapids are going, like she's like I just feel like she's got it. And she seems to be enjoying herself too a little bit. But that's all for now.
I have a little bit of a but I guess it feels like a little personal. Please, Jacqueline, let me know if that's okay. Um, this,
Yeah,
the
that's
minute
okay.
that the minute that I arrived here, I felt an echo in your voice. At first, I didn't. I just thought that it was like a little bit of, probably connection and stuff like that. But I kept hearing this, and I felt a profound like energy about you. And I know that it doesn't make a lot of sense, like, but this echo that you have is not about like an empty space. It's more like that a person is with you. And then as I had that thought, I saw this lady with you, and she looks a lot like you, but she's older. Um, and she was showing me this plant. It has like really big, deep green leaves. It's like the plant is almost like leaves. That's what it is. It's very close to earth. It's a small plant. I don't know like if you know what it is. Um, but I think like she wanted it for you to pay attention to this plant in particular. Um, while she was showing me that, there was another lady that came behind you as well. This one, it looks like you too, but she looks way older than the first one. Her hair, it's white. Um, and I feel like they related to you, and it has to do with this echo in your voice. It's almost like there's something with you that is causing this, for me to hear this echo and this deep energy coming out of you. Um, that's all for now.
Thank you. That's I can feel it. I can really feel the energy of that. I've been doing ancestral healing, so that makes sense. Um, I do believe I know which plant you're talking. I would just pose one question to you. Is there anything the plant has other than green leaves?
No, actually, like it's like a short stem that's sticking out of the earth, and
Mm,
just that becomes the whole leaf of the plant. Like the plant, it's basically their leaves. I can check later and
mm,
like send you a picture of what I feel like it's the closest thing. But the green, if that plant, it's very dark, and I can see even like the little veins of the leaves, like it's reddish.
mhm,
But I think they really wanted for you to see that plant or to know something about it.
mm. Okay, thank you.
Thank
I
you.
was I was just asking about if you saw anything else because the first thing I was thinking when you brought that through was the ayahuasca plant, or one of the ayahuasca plants is what you described, but it has like little red berries. So I was just curious. But thank you. That's really beautiful. And I
Thank
think
you.
the energies that the two women, the energies have, for me, I'll tell you later, but it feels connected to something, connect in a meditation that I did earlier today. So yeah, anyway, thank you.
Also, during the prayer, I had a vision of it looked like a parking lot with vehicles in the distance. And then I saw tall golden brown wheat flowing in the breeze. And then I was taken to a room where I see an oval mirror attached to another mirror, and they're opening and closing. Around the mirror is a rope-like texture. I look away from the vanity mirrors and I see an open door. There's nothing there, but there feels like there's something significant. And the room looks very organized and there's a lot of light in this house. That's it for now.
I'm feeling a lot of heart-centered energy, lots of loving, heart-centered energy. It just feels like my heart is really radiating, and there's this excitement energy as well. It's like a split between like love and excitement. I'm just trying to hold this energy. That's all for now.
So I'm feeling, hold on. Sorry. So what I'm seeing is a fire like outside at night, and I'm really close to the fires. You know, when you get really close, you really feel the warmth. And so I'm feeling that, and then I'm mostly hearing people around the fire with me, and I'm only kind of seeing one person. I can see that there's another man next to him, but I'm seeing this one man who has like a feather headdress on. And I feel like he's Native American, although I feel like this is in present times. Doesn't feel old at all. And so far, the energy I'm feeling is just pure joy, happiness, laughter, ease. I feel safe. I feel comfort. And the one thing I did see this man do is he put one of the feathers from his headdress into the fire as like an offering. This is making me feel actually a message about using the fire for manifestation, because we use it to clear. So I'm laughing because I did this actually, and I usually we think of using fire to clear and burn away things, but we can also use it to manifest. I'm laughing because I manifested my husband this way, and yes, I'm serious. But I feel like that's kind of what spirit is saying right now here with the feather and the fire and the energy of manifestation. That's all for now.
I'm picking up on rabbit energy. That's all for now.
When someone mentioned the mirrors earlier, I could see all of a sudden this woman that I saw on the ice, and she was in a long hall with mirrors, and she had on more like what we would consider typical kind of goddess like Grecian white gowns on. And she was in a hall with a bunch of mirrors, and there was all of this ice that was like around the mirrors and behind the mirrors, and there was like frost on the mirrors, but everything was starting to melt and like drip, and there was a little bit of condensation forming, and then as everything was melting, I could see that there was something where the ice looked like crystals too, so it was like not fully ice and it wasn't fully like crystals either, but they were melting, and she was walking down that hallway with the fire melting, but every time she looked in the mirror, like she looked a little less like herself. So she looked fully like the woman, was really pale with white hair and almost like this otherworldly sort of like glow about her. And every mirror she went to, she looked a little like when I saw her first, I realized she wasn't like 100% what we would consider human because her ears were long and her fingers were long, and I'm feeling like there's some sort of ascendant extraterrestrial energy connected with her. And as she walked down and looked in the mirror, it would change and she would look a little more human with each thing and a little less like glowing and flowing and ethereal. And then she reached the end of the hallway and there was this sort of intersection and there was three other doors. So it was a hallway that and it was a bunch of like clay earth and clay stones. And then there's one for fire. And I could see that when you were talking, Jacqueline, I could see the fires in the mirror and the fire was coming in the mirror and you could start to see faces and things come out of the fire. And then with the air, there was a bunch of wind and stuff like that. But what she's saying to us is right now we're in the hall of water and everything's unfreezing. Things are unfreezing. And she says that that means that things are melting and thawing and we're feeling and we're feeling things we haven't quite felt before. And there's a beauty in that, but there's also like a lot in that too. It's like it feels traumatic a little bit. And she wants to speak to that and that we need to trust in the thawing of our heart because that's what's happening right now. And as our hearts are thawing, like it's pumping something throughout our bodies. And that's when things are beginning to activate. And all of the other hallways are part of this, but right now, there's something about the collective energy of water that she's speaking to me about anyway. But I feel like you have the fire there, Jacqueline, so I think there's a little bit of it all going on. But everything right now is it's like everything's coming out of the Hall of Mirrors. It's like being like released. It's being unleashed. Where it's things are coming up from the earth. They're coming down from below, and this is probably what we would think of as ascension or something like that. And that we need to trust in the balance in this process. Trust in the path forward. Trust that we're going to make it through the hall. Trust that we're going to see different versions of ourselves come up in this, like as we are in the here and now, but also as we are through like all space and time, different lives, different versions of ourselves. Everything's awakening and it's coming out. That's all for now. I'm going to sit with this and really, because I'm feeling also like a lot of energy around my heart. I'm also feeling like a lot of energy at my feet. Almost like I'm getting heated up from my feet or something. So I'm going to sit with that for a little bit.
I'm feeling a lot of energy in my core, and the best way that I can describe is like almost like I'm going into labor, but this is not pain. It's just this feeling of like things moving down, and I feel like I want to ground myself. Like I feel the need to put my feet like into the earth. Um, it feels uncomfortable. It feels like almost like that, like I'm almost ready to push. It's not painful, it's just really, really uncomfortable. And I just feel this need of like be really like close to earth, like almost like my whole body. Like I know that if I get close like to earth and stuff like that, like my body's gonna like relax. Um, but it's a different it's a different energies. It's like, yes, I want to push out, but I also want to hold on a little bit more and make myself comfortable, ground myself. I see also like the place that they calling me to go to give birth, like it's this volcano. Like I can see the lava. I can see like this big, like mountain like in front of me, and this is kind of like the place to be. This is kind of the place like to be there and release and just like ground. That's how I feel. That's all for now.
When I believe it was Dana was talking, I started to feel like I was earth and like I was crumbling. In that, well, it's hard to explain it, but I felt like I was earth, like my being was the top of my being, the top of my head began to crumble. Very heavy earth presence, energy, just like crumbling away, but it had to do with me or my presence or just that identity or whatever. And the word that came to my mind was dissolving. And when the last woman was speaking, I didn't realize until she started speaking that I was tense. And then I exhaled, and as I exhaled, uh, she said so. She was speaking about the earth as well, and being able to relax in it, and or yeah, and so that's all for now.
I saw a tall brown picket fence with a dark house behind. Next to the house is a tall, large, dark tree. The fence property is very bright with green grass, but the outside of the property looks very dark. And then later, I was taken to a scene that looks really, really dark with a long row of thorns. I see a rabbit struggling, but perfectly unharmed when the rabbit's calm. That's all for now.
You can see a rabbit, and there's baby rabbits too, or rabbits that are like maybe not babies but younger, and the rabbit's under a rose bush, and I can see the red roses, and I can see the bits of like morning dew or bits of water on them. And there's a woman, and I know that she came out of the house that you saw, and she has a long flat basket and a like pair of gardening shears or something like that. But this isn't quite contemporary. This is maybe I don't know how long ago, but um again, she has on white, but it's a time of day where I guess it must be like it's not fully bright out yet. And she just came to the rose bush to cut the roses, and I can see how red they are. Um, and I can almost feel the feeling of like when they get cut off, that sort of like feeling of the drops of water like hitting my face and everything. And it's like I am seeing her and watching her, but I'm also feeling the motion she's going through. It's a weird sort of duality. Um, and she's that same woman, but she's much more plain and simple, and her hair is pulled back in a bun. And I can just feel her joy of being out in the morning, cutting the roses and seeing the rabbits and smelling everything. And it's like I can smell the roses a little bit, but I can also smell the smell of wet earth. And I can kind of feel that squishiness of the earth in the morning under my feet. And um, it just feels like a really lovely moment. And I feel that it just feels really interesting that the rabbit gave birth to, and now is like a bunch of little rabbits there. And I'm not sure how this connects exactly, but I'm just feeling like the feeling of like it's gonna be okay, like everything, like life goes on. I just want to say life goes on. um, I don't know who needs to hear that. I do, but I really feel it. Like I really, really feel it. That's all for now.
I keep feeling like labor still on. It's weird because I see this woman and it's supposed to be me, but it doesn't really look like me. But everything that she's doing and feeling, that's exactly how I'm feeling. I see her like walking and I see like how her water broke and all this like liquid, like water, like it's running down her legs and all the earth. And it just makes the earth like wet and mushy and it's I don't know, like it feels like she's uncomfortable, but she's loving the moment. Like she really is into the moment. Like she knows what is going on. She knows everything that she's feeling. Like her body is under stress, but at the same time, like every time that she walks like through the earth and she feels it, like it just makes her feel like good. And she walks and she knows where she has to be. She's sweating. She knows like labor is coming, but she's calm. Like she's still like walking like at a pace. She's sensing everything around her. She feels like the warm like weather around her. It's a little sunny, but not like too much. You can see like her face, like it has like she's getting like really like warm, like because of the walking and the weather and everything. And I saw this big plantain leaves that they put in the floor next to this big like crate. Like it looks like a volcano, but I really don't know like how this is all here. Like it just seems like really surreal. And all these plantain leaves like are like in the floor for her to lay down. But she hasn't laid down yet. She's just walking around. I don't know like if she feels like maybe that's gonna help her. But she's just taking like a moment like to feel everything, like to feel everything that her body's telling her, that the earth like is telling her, like all this warm weather and all these things that are coming out of her body, like it's like speaking to her. That's all for now.
I'm picking up on either dragon or phoenix energies off in the distance, so I can't really tell which one it is, but flames, so it's more like it would be more like a flying dragon if it were a dragon. And then I saw a pair of, well, it was actually just one, like an eyelid, but it was like an ancient eyelid. Looked very like it belonged to an older person. That's all for now.
I just want to say that actually I was born in the year of the dragon. That's all for now.
In a field of grass, I saw a dog, and then I saw a Dalmatian come to the right of the dog. Looks like they're waiting for something. Dalmatian puppy is now in focus, and I hear "Remember Me." It looks like a picture in a picture frame now. Dalmatian looks to the side, and then I saw. I'm sorry. That's all for now.
I saw a door open, and there's some kind of energetic presence of light. It's shimmery. And I'm going to sit with this. That's all for now.
When you were talking about the ancient eye after the dragon and phoenix energy, I felt like something was rising, and I saw it's as if I saw like the horizon, and it looks very like desert sort of landscape, like southwest sort of. There's rocks and like a flat mesa type of thing, and deserty, but not 100% desert-like. And it's as if this giant being just sat up, and part of his body had been like the landscape, and it's almost like it was rocks and sand and just earth, and you get up and I could hear everything crumbling, and I could hear the sound of everything crumbling, but this giant being stands up, this giant giant of a being, like the size of a building, just stands up, and that being, although I don't see it, I know that it has one eye. It does not have two eyes, it has one large eye, and it would take up the space where the eyes and the third eye would be. And it's like the color of like red clay and like tan rocks, and it kind of almost has a sort of rocky sort of appearance to it. And I feel like this is I don't know if this is a multi-dimensional shift that I'm seeing, or if it's something that was originally in early Earth times and has shifted away. Like I feel like some of the things that are shifting back in were here and now are coming back, and it's like I feel like all of the doors were open at one point, and for some reason they shut and shifted out of our awareness, and now things are slowly starting to shift in. And there's something about this energy that's connected to that ancient eye and these large race of bigger people that is I don't know, it feels like it is coming forward now. It feels like beings are coming out of the earth and are coming down from the sky, and that's meant to happen in a form of balance. That's the door that's opening. That's the light. That the light doesn't just come from the sky, it comes from down below too. That's all for now.
While you were talking, I saw rainbows, just a bunch of just rainbows. And I saw energies, just different energies and forms falling from the heavens. That's all for now.
I saw a woman in white. She dances. When she dances, it feels cold like winter's breath. As she dances around, everything freezes, turns blue and snowy. She is comfortable, but others are not able to endure the cold like her. They shiver, their teeth chatter, and they want to leave. She feels comfortable, and this is her normal. And then I saw a tentacle near someone's throat. It looked like it was whipping someone's throat, as if it was coercing one's speech. And then I saw a red ladybug emerge after being spoken, and the tentacle dissolves. That's all for now.
I'm feeling a sensation in my throat, and I actually saw the ladybug myself. That's all for now. I'm feeling something in my left ear. It's almost as if whatever the sensation is that was on my throat is almost like it's going up and around in my left ear. That's all for now.
As you were talking and sharing about the energy going up around your ear, I'm feeling this light being. This being is nothing but pure light. And I don't think it's going to take a form different than that for us to understand it. But this definitely feels like it's a guide of yours. Hit some sort of like deep relationship there. Is all of the energy around your heart. He's like helping. I don't know why I say he, the being, but it does feel like there's a masculine energy attached to it, helping to pull the energy up and out from your heart as a sort of like a form of healing, and a form of like energy balancing. I feel like I'm saying everything with balance tonight, but I'm really just getting the message of balance. But that it's going up, but also you want to make sure to pull it down. But I feel like there's just this like immense amount of like energy and light, and it almost feels taffy like to me. Like I can almost envision someone pulling taffy, right? Getting that feeling in my hands. But that this is like a healing that has like begun for you, and that is really like being activated to spread the heart energy outward. And there's something about this energy that feels taffy-like to me. It's not fully solid, but it's not liquidy either. And it feels like there's this sort of plasma type of energy in your body that is a mixture of different states of matter and being and different dimensional frequencies. And it feels like um that you're almost working with like your energy is like plasma or something. It feels like really high vibrational, like multi-dimensional plasma, and I feel like it's slowly been leaking down into your energy and your aura field, and now you're really holding it in this like really interesting way, and like it's just healing throughout your body. And I feel like connecting with this guide, like he wants you to play with the energy, and he wants to teach you how to play with the energy, and he just feels like really like lovely light being. It almost feels like there's an aspect of like joy and inner childness in there, and you know, maybe even some hands-on sort of energy work too. That's all for now.
I'm still feeling this sensation in my left ear. It's like it's penetrated, and then I started seeing almost like this serpent energy moving upward. And I'm feeling this almost like pinching, kind of like sensation in the base, the right base of my skull, but a little bit higher. And I was feeling some intense emotion, almost like I wanted to cry. That's all for now.
I saw a lone sunflower in the middle of the field with petals individually disappearing. Only the center remains. I saw a saw blade that appears around to replace the missing petals. The saw blade spins and is audible. I see a person come and take this saw sunflower away to cut wood planks. That's all for now.
I see the woman again, and this time she's in a room that looks like a really, it's a library, but she's probably in like the entryway to a library where there's like the card catalog and the circulation desk, and I feel like there's like a spot where people read newspapers. I can see them on the it's not quite contemporary. I can see them up on the wall. It feels like there's almost like a 50s or 60s energy connected to it. And she has a cart with a bunch of books that are to go back on the shelves. But first she has to put cards in the card catalog. And it's very interesting because I feel like I'm seeing a representation of an Akashic collective, Akashic library. And that it's not just putting the books back where the information has been accessed from, but it's something about like the steps upon which we can access information going forward, or that we do access information that she wants to talk about. And she's saying that it's like right now, what we're doing here or doing group work like this is like looking information up in a card catalog, and we're getting like the snippet of information that's on that little bit of paper that tells you where to find the book and the title and the author and the call number and all of that stuff. And you need that information to actually get to the book, but then she wants us to not forget to go back into the book, to go and get the book. And I feel like she's saying that she's reshelving information. And what I'm taking from this, what I'm feeling from this and in her saying this is that there's information that wasn't previously available that's being put available to people. But what we need to do is we need to keep chasing the information, that we need to keep finding the books and reading them and highlighting them. I'm seeing a highlighter. I'm actually seeing a whole packet of like bright neon highlighters. And as I say this, like the library seemed kind of like a 50s old school sort of library. Now everything is white. It's like it's white marble and white columns and white books and white shelves. And I feel like I'm somewhere like sacred and holy, and it's like a library and it's a temple and it's like many different things all in one. And I do feel like, and I can't quite see it, but I can feel the heat of it. I feel like there's a pyre, like some sort of burning fire there. Um, but the bottom of the temple, even though it's marble, it's like you can still see it's dug out of the earth, and it just feels really like a magical, surreal sort of place where, like, similar to the doors and the hallways, where a lot of things converge, and that we're at a point of unfreezing earlier, and now we're at a point of convergence as well. And she feels like she is and to even say goddess feels like that's not even the right word. Like she's just like representative of like the divinity itself, or I feel like a sense of humbleness when I'm looking at her and feeling about her. Like I can't fully look at her face or something. I can't fully see her because I can't, like I just can't contain that sort of energy. I'm not there yet. And I just feel like a real sweet, lovely sense of calmness come over me. I'm just gonna kind of sit with that.
Out in a green field, I see a blue refrigerator in the distance. The freezer has a large egg. A large pterodactyl lands and bows, presents a key. The key is large and golden. There's hesitancy to take the key, but behind is a heavy, sludgy like darkness, and I hear press forward, take the key, and go. That's all for now.
I feel like I'm in like I feel like I'm seeing like this I don't know if it's like jungle or what, because I just saw like an alligator or a crocodile and a tribal man and a lion. But I could definitely see like foresty, jungly environment with vines and all that. That's all for now.
For me, when I had the woman in the library, I feel like after she gave her message, I am very much back in my body. Um, does anyone else have any messages they would like to deliver or share with the group?
Actually, yes. Sorry. Um, really quick, I right before you started speaking, Dana, I was starting to see something. And it's really interesting because the whole journey, this is kind of the same as you. Like after I gave my first message about the fire, I just came back into my body, and I've been trying to connect back, but spirit's like, nope, that was it for you. Until just now, I just saw really quickly a flash of a woman, myself, but also a collective woman for us. And it was like someone threw a fishing line out into the water, but instead it was into her body. And it's pulling up. I don't necessarily see a fish, but I'm feeling like the hook, the energy of the hook. And this hook is like coming up the center of the body in the front, and it's like ripping her energy, not in a bad way necessarily, but it's just pulling it. And I can see her face, just like that face where, like you can't do anything, you can't move, and you're just like, oh my God, like what's happening? Like she has her mouth open and she's just kind of like frozen, almost like a statue as this is happening. But as it comes out the top of her head, she kind of falls, and I'm just seeing like her being engulfed in white light, and water and peace and calm and serenity, and also I don't think I said it, the energy, what I saw, this fishing line coming up, it was green, black and green. um it almost, I don't know if it's just like something that's in my logical head, but it almost has that energy of like the Wicked Witch of the West. um but yeah, I don't know, that's all for now. Thank you.
Oh, thank you for sharing, Jacqueline. I don't want to close too early. Does anyone else have any messages they'd like to share or deliver?
I'm just picking up on some type of like energy coming from the heavens. Like, I don't know, I know when I do energy work, you either see like, well, for me, I see energy either being pulled out of me or energy being restored. And feel like I'm sensing this restoration of energy coming from the heavens. That's all for now.
Thank you. I think I'm going to give it a few moments to see what else comes through for people.
I'm getting that like that dissolving energy again that was kind of like being picked up on in the beginning. It's like this slow, like melt, deterioration, but it's just slowly just falling away. Yeah, that's all for now.
I can feel that sense of melting too. I almost see like a big pile of candle wax um forming, and it's like as it melts off the candle, it's forming something that looks like a mound or a hill or like a pile.
I'm just starting to feel like this shift of energy on the right side of my body, whereas earlier it was on the left. I feel this movement and shift of energy on the right side, near my head. Excuse me, in my head, on my head, the right side, just the right side of my head. I'm thinking, feeling like it's just kind of like moving from the left side to the right side, trying to like balance things out. And then just realizing how tense I am right now and just kind of like relaxing, letting go. That's all for now.
As you said that, I kind of got the visual of it looks a little bit like a mudslide, but it's like clay. It's like the color of clay or something like that, red clay. Um,
I just saw a silver spoon. That's all for now.
I'm feeling like this very feminine energy, and I don't attribute it to like a being, so to speak, like a guide or anything like that. I feel like just the experience is very feminine and like dark. Of course, when I say dark, I mean feminine, but very, I don't know, it just feels like a very feminine experience. Feminine energy, female energy, not female, but feminine energy experience that I just I just feel that essence, that presence. Yeah, just a very feminine. I just feel like this is a very feminine experience. And yeah, it feels almost like nurturing at the same time. Like to just be with it. Yeah, that's all for now. It's almost like being in a void. I think that's what I'm feeling. Like there's this void, and like just being in this kind of like nothingness, this vast, but you can tell, like, for me it just feels feminine and divine, and yeah, that's all. Yeah.
There's a feeling of that energy that you just spoke of, like kind of like creeping in around everyone. Creeping doesn't sound good, but this is good. It feels like it's almost like a coming in the way fog would come in, or and like it slowly enters, and the energy is just kind of like coming around and kind of surrounding and holding and delivering to everybody. And like if I had to think about it, it feels like I kind of felt it at my feet in the beginning of the journey, but now it feels like it's maybe up around my calves or something. And I just get the sense that it's going to continue to, even after this journey, like continue to hold people and continue to um just connect them with the divine feminine herself, and this sense of being nurtured, but being nurtured in ways that are um like really well rounded, like not just it's not just like love and cuddles nurturing, but like really being held. And to be like mindfully aware of connecting with that energy and holding space for it and letting it do its work to come in, to trust in it.
What comes to mind for me is like a sensory deprivation tank, like, and just kind of like just being in that where you don't even want to talk, you don't even want to think. And I've never been in one, but that just came to my mind, like that all black void, just no nothingness, just nothingness. But at the same time, there's this like safety, like utter safety that I'm like feeling, and nourishment, and just I just kind of like you just want to like float, like when you're like in water and you're just kind of like floating on the surface. That's all for now.
Unless anyone has anything else to share, that sounds like a beautiful ending to kind of allow ourselves to remain in that energy as we move on with our evening. We are eternally grateful and deeply thankful to all spirits and beings who joined us tonight. Thank you for the wisdom and knowledge you shared, the guidance you provided, and the gifts that you gave us. We ask for your continued guidance in the coming days as weeks as we work to integrate the messages delivered for further awareness and healing. Help us release any energy that is not of our highest and greatest good, and help us shed what no longer serves us. We call in again on the sacred light of Source. May the great divine white light of love shine down into us and flow freely through us. May this fill our days and inform all of our decisions. In this, we honor the divine feminine and the divine masculine, the great eternal cycle of balance and growth that is the flow of the universe. Thank you, thank you, thank you. With this, the sacred circle is now closed. Namaste.